The reason why I play birds is because it's the best deck of the format. It has so many options available to you, and it can make the most insane board. It can play one of the most broken trap cards in the game. That's in your side deck, which is basically Azathoth. It's crazy. Harpy's Featherstorm. It can make an unbreakable board. It can also go second and break through pretty much every board. Its ceiling is so high that no other deck can really compete against it. The reason why Sword Soul prior to this event has been achieving so many results is because of volume. A lot of volume has been playing, a lot of players have been playing Sword Soul, which means it's likely to do much better than birds because of the representation. Now, let's think about it statistically. If Bird Up saw more play, then it's going to do much better at a YCS. Now, let's say the same amount of players played Bird Up and Sword Soul in the room. Which would do better in this format? Definitely Bird Up. Bird Up is just too good. Sword Soul is very consistent. It was a good deck for Swiss. I don't think it's a great deck for winning, but it's definitely a good deck for the Swiss rounds. Bird Up though has so many more options, and I do think that's the best deck. It's quite difficult to play. It's hard to pilot because of how many decision trees there are available to you. But if you sequence everything correctly, you'll get true value from your cards. And you can respond in the correct way, which will give you maximum value. And that's the game here with this deck. And this deck's beautiful. This deck is really beautiful. The way it plays, I can't explain it. It's nice. It's the best way I explained it to Kamal in top 8 when I was bantering. I said this format reminds me so much like Rescue Rabbit Wind Up and Insecta, where Dino Rabbits is Sword Soul, Wind Ups is Bird Up, and like Insecta is like your B deck, which randomly appears to every top cut, right? So yeah, like it was like, the deck's good. I would definitely recommend playing it this weekend. Hopefully this deck list, you learn from it and you get true value from this profile. There's a few things I would change as well, and I'll go into those as well with what I'm going to change. Chat, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will be going through questions shortly after the profile. And there's this deck is just so good. The hand traps as well. You'll be surprised with the hand traps. You'll be surprised with the side deck. And the extra deck, maybe not. The extra deck is quite standard. Okay, cool. Chat, enjoy. Everyone who's watching, enjoy. I hope this adds value to you for this weekend. I hope you crush. I hope you win. Let me know in the comments how you do with this deck list if you decide to play it, or if anything helps you from this video, please let me know in the comments and click the like button. All right, guys, here we go. So we're playing 41 cards in the main deck, and I'm playing Triple Warbler. Of course, it's like the best one. It's crazy. It's funny actually. I didn't even know this triggers from being summoned from the hand. I just thought it had to use something by its first effect. So when I played this deck at the regional where I top forward, the only time I thought it could summon one from the hand or the graveyard was when it summoned itself from this hand by its first effect. But really, its second effect can be summoned from the hand and trigger whenever. So if you summon out Ferrigy or Bird Call, it will then trigger. I obviously know that now, but for that regional I didn't. Okay, so we've got Triple Sparrow. Card's really good. Just remember, when let's say you the ideal setup is like setting this up in the graveyard with this, right? So you Fractal send this to the grave, or Foolish this to the grave. You'll then special summon this back from the graveyard or from your hand if you open both. You'll summon both. You'll search any piece that you really need to continue with, and then you'll overlay. Remember to detach the Warbler instead of the Sparrow, because Sparrow gives Starling an effect where it can't be targeted. So now it can't be impermanenced or veiled, which allows you then to get an additional search. So you can then, when you summon this, you can get your Nerval or your Swallow, and then you can overlay both and guarantee to get the next piece because it's never getting impermed or veiled at all. And no one's really playing Morna. So there you go. Oh, chat's correcting me. Effect stays? Okay, that's even more broken. Alright, I didn't know that. That's even more broken. Okay, then we played Double Swallow. Now, I was umming and ahhing upping this to 3, but I do feel like 2's just correct. Double Wagtail. Now, I played 2 over 1 because of Pot of Desires. I don't want to risk banishing it. If I banished it, I don't want to minimize my true value from the deck by trying to summon this, search for a bird call, and then if I've already played a bird call earlier in the turn, the one that I search I can put underneath the bottom of the deck from the Ferrigy draw. Triple Canary. Now Canary is solid. I was only playing 2 at one point, but now I've just upped it to 3, and it's really good. The fact that it can help you make Blue Robin, increases your guy by 200, which is quite relevant too, and it's just a great extender. It really is. Even if you get Nibiru'd, it's just a great extender. Look, unfortunately, I didn't have it against Kamal when we played in top 8. It is what it is. My game 2 hand was double Nerval, double Bird Call, and Swallow. So I just couldn't do much. I could have gone with a save play and made Appaloosa, but it just wouldn't have been enough against the mirror match. Okay, so these are the birds. Okay, now for the Tri-Brigades. Raz, Kit, Triple Fractal. Now, Fractal has to go to 1. You've got to think about what are they going to do with this deck? What are they going to hit? Are they going to put this to 1? Probably. But they have to do something else to the list because the deck's too good. Now, they could put Bird Call to 1, but I don't think that really cuts it. They have to think about what they could do. One of my friends said Starling. Now, Starling makes sense because it prevents you making F-Zero. So Starling to 1 would be interesting because when you decide to make your F-Zero, you have to commit pieces as well to then overlay into an Exceed, which wouldn't really get a search for you. So that's the trade you have to make if you want to make that. So Starling going to 1 makes sense. I think the only really hits they can hit with this deck is Fractal to 1 and Starling to 1. Think about it more. And that was probably what I would do. Or they wanted to, they could put Nerval to 1, but I don't think that has the same effect as putting Fractal to 1. Okay, and then we have Triple Nerval. So Nerval solid. Man, it's just the engines are so good. Like how you can interact with these, and then these you can make a great board, or like you can just make summon Charade, banish something, just go for game. It's a solid. Okay, and then we played DD Crow, searchable. Great card in the format right now. A lot of DPE around. There are Scythe in some format, well, in some tournaments even. Scythe is dropped in play, but DD Crow is still important. It's good in the mirror match if they go Fractal or Foolish. Or Sparrow. So definitely want Crow. And if you're comboing off and don't get responded to, you always have an extra piece that is unnecessary, so you just search the Crow and it's just chilling there. And then of course the Apex Valley Avian. So these are all the main deck monsters. Yes, that's right, there's no other hand traps apart from DD Crow in the main deck. So these are all the monsters. Spells. One of the best spells in the game. Triple Pot of Desires. This card is just unreal. Just unreal. Not agreed. You know, so long ago I used to think 2 was correct. I was crazy then. I don't know what I was thinking. I used to think 2 was correct. It's just frustrating when you play a Desires and draw into 1. But still, 3 is definitely right. And then the nice thing about this deck is you can Ferrigy 1 back if you do open 2 or draw into the second. Triple Droplets. Triple Talents. Just look at the spell lineup. So these are really good when you go second. So that's why I didn't mind going second at times. I actually lost quite a lot of dice rolls as well, just so you know. So I lost, I think, 8 dice rolls in Swiss, and I lost the top 8 dice roll. I did win my top 32 and my top 16 dice rolls. But yeah, when I go second, if I open one of these, it's just good enough. There was a mirror match actually where I played against Bird Up. I just took their Draco, and then I made Zeus and just blew everything up. Okay, then we have spells. Bird Call. Card's crazy. Card's so good. Tenki and 1 for 1. Now, I was going to play Foolish Burial in the main deck. I was umming and ahhing. I was going to make it 42 and play Foolish. I did have it in my list for some time, but I decided to go and play 41. do think I'm going to add it back in. It just creates more consistency within the deck of what it tries to do. So these are the spells, and then for the traps, triple imperm, and everyone's favorite card, Imperial Order. Man, I love how everyone's like hating on this card now. It's been around for 3 years. It's so good though. I've been playing it in every deck just because of how broken it is. I don't understand how it's around. It just benefits the turn player more. When you start and you have that, it's just insane. It's just really insane. The card's so good. And even though we play all these spells, it's just good enough to lock the game usually. Okay, so this is the main deck. 41 cards. Okay, so the extra deck. I'll start with the links and then we'll go into the Exceeds. So I played Appaloosa. So at first I didn't like it. I never summoned it. I rarely summoned it, but now I'm always summoning it. I'm just summoning it all the time. It's very good, especially with the increase in Nibiru and hand traps. Just Appaloosa is just great. Gains more value. And then we have some more solid. Really good. It's good against striker decks as well. The fact they can't be targeted, destroyed, so it's solid. The fact it gets Apex, Avian, I like it. And you can just banish free and summon it off a Tri-Brigade as well. Then we got Ferrogy, Double Dragon Lords, Almirage, Double Omen. So Kamal's list didn't play 2 Omen, he played 1. I do like 2. He played Access Code over it, and he did play Rugal over Downed. But I don't mind that, because I never found... Before I never played Downed, but I played it for this event, and it never came up, because you never really had an opportunity to make it, because it would always get responded to. But if you make a Semblem Nightingale, and then you detach, or you just attack directly, and then you just overlay Zeus, that's usually the line of play I go with, to blow the board up. And here's a Downed, Ensemble, Double Starlings, card's very good. I did play 3, but I didn't actually miss it this time. I played 2 was right, 2 seemed fine. Nightingale, F-Zero, you took a Future, and Zeus. So the 15 card extra deck. I do think I'm going to cut these 2 and try out Access Code and Rugal. I did miss a Link 3 quite often, but I'm definitely going to cut this for a Link 3. That's going to happen for sure. I'm unsure if I'm going to cut one of these. Okay, right, and the side deck. Let's go with the side deck. Right, you'll laugh at me, right? So triple draw. Card's very good in the mirror match. It's good event against Alistair decks as well. You just a necessity in the side deck right now. One card I really liked, Token Collector. I played 3. Big fan of it. Like what it does. Sword Soul is very popular, so it's just solid against that deck. Double Nibiru. Now, the space really, I'd have liked to have sided 3, but there was no space. Triple Cosmic Cyclone. Good against Scythe, especially good against PK. Decks that just try and make Scythe plays, it's just solid against. Do like Cosmic. I think it's one of the best removal spells in the game, and I wouldn't have changed it for any other copies of like Cosmic or Lightning Storms. I'm a big fan of Cosmic. I didn't feel like I needed a Lightning Storm considering what this deck does and the other side deck cards that I side. So I decided not to go with like Lightning Storm. It's just don't think it's good enough. I've never really liked the card. I've never been a really big fan because like Token Collector sorts out and is responsive to your opponent when they're summoning tokens against Sword Soul. But against Bird Ups, you've got Drolls, so they're good, and then you got the Nibirus to follow suit with the other 2, with the other 3. So I never felt like Lightning Storm was needed, but Cosmic, definitely a fan of. We played the best trap in the game for this deck. This trap is insane. Like, if you open this, you win. If you go first and you open this, you win. It's just crazy. The card's crazy. The reason why it's great as well is if your opponent draws you, you just always are surviving a turn because of this. Always. Now, I decided not to play Harpy's Feather Duster, which you can search when this gets destroyed, just because, you know, I'm never wanting to put that in going first with this. So I didn't put it in. And then the last card is Red Reboot. Altergeist's favorite card. This card never saw play from me over the weekend or in the VIP qualifier. However, I do think it's great. I actually sided in for the mirror match because of this card. It never came up, but if I go second against the mirror match, I'm putting Red Reboot in because I just can't afford this to resolve because I'm never winning then at all. And this actually just come up against like your Eldritch decks, your trap decks, and it allows you then to make a big board. And you don't really care about them setting a trap because if they set a trap and the one that gets reset, you just make Zeus. This deck makes Zeus so freely. It really does. And then you can just set up a board and then you're all solid. You're all good. So, Red Reboot, I don't think I would take it out at all. Even though it didn't see play from me. Think of it logically, it's very good in this format right now. So, I wouldn't change it. So, this is the deck. I got 9-2 in Swiss. I won out in top 32 against the mirror match. I 2-0'd my opponent. And then in top 16, I played against Sky Striker DPE. I 2-0'd my opponent. And then in the quarterfinals, I played against Kamal. The overall winner, he 2-0'd me. So yeah, it was a great tournament. Very tiring, very long. I went 5-0 in the VIP qualifier on Friday, which got me a 2-0 bye for the Remote Duel Vegas. Funnily enough, that event got cancelled during the VIP qualifier. But it just is what it is. So yeah, it was a good event. To be honest, there were so many delays between rounds during this YCS, like more than usual. But you got to give them some credit. It was an event that happened last minute. They cancelled it fairly recently, and they just decided to run a YCS, which is great. The only thing that I hope Konami would do differently is they would let us know like an estimated time of how long the next round is going to be, like a no sooner than, or time limits, just because it gives players more time to like freely do something else or make some food, you know, instead of eagerly paying attention to when the rounds go up, because you only have 3 minutes before the start time happens. So you literally just have to stay at your seat and you can't move. So that's just, it was just quite frustrating. That's one thing I definitely would change if Konami, you're listening. Just let people know how long it's going to take roughly. You know, you may not think it goes a long way, but it really does. It really does. But yeah, so this is the profile. Chat, well, anyone who's watching the video, leave comments below. I'll respond to your comments. Let me know what you think about the deck profile. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'll respond to them before the YCS as well, so you'll get a response from me. And yeah, this is the deck profile, guys. Hope it helps you this weekend. And follow my shorts on YouTube where you get tip of the day every day. All right, guys, look after yourselves. Peace.